Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. On tonight's show, we've got the award-winning filmmaker and director Rahiem Shabazz in the building. Peace to you, King.
Peace and black power, black man.
Oh, man. You know, it's an absolute joy to actually have you on here. You know what? For the people out there who don't actually know who you are, give me a background. Who is Rahiem Shabazz?
My name is Rahiem Shabazz, as you stated, and I am a filmmaker, award-winning filmmaker, as well as a journalist. And I started my career long time ago as a hip-hop journalist, and I transitioned to filmmaking. I run a highly popular podcast called Necessary Blackness, and I am the director and executive producer of Elementary Genocide documentary series. We have Elementary Genocide 1, which is called the School to Prison Pipeline. We also have Elementary Genocide 2, which is called the Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration. And we're currently working on Elementary Genocide 3, Academic Holocaust.
Wow. That's a broad rap sheet right there. You know what? Everybody who is out there right now tuned in, please, what I would love for you to do, as well as hitting the like button, as I know you're going to like in a little while, but what I would love for you to do is hit the share button. Share this like crazy, because we're going to go into some powerful information. Today, we're going to go through the school to prison pipeline. We're going to go through, the education system. We're going to go through how there's so much disparity amongst the black youth. We're going to go into so many different things. And I'm going to be asking my brother's worked with so many heavy hitters. You know what, my brother, actually, furthermore, this is what I want you to do. Could you just, give a nice litany of all of, the big heavy hitters that you've actually worked with inside of our community?
Wow, that's a long list, and I'm gonna be remiss if I miss a few names, but to get it started, I want to say Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Stephen Perry, Dr. Umar Johnson, Sister Zaza Ali. We have Dr. Francis Cress Wells in there. We also have rapper Killer Mike. In the new one, we have David Banner. We also have Sister Shahrazad Ali. We have Supreme Understanding. We have Dr. Khalila Ali. We have Kalanji Changa. We have former Black Panther, Daruba Ben Wahad, Professor Ed Gons, Sister Amina, Khadijah. We have a lot of individuals in there. And I know I'm probably forgetting some names, but this is through the course of 3 documentaries. And then, of course, last but not least, we have myself.
Powerful. I want to know, have you got any brothers from the UK on this yet?
Nah, I haven't. I actually screened out there in the UK, but I haven't been able to go out there to actually get anything filmed.
You know what? I think our brothers over in the UK need to actually get on this right now, because you know what? We need to get our brothers on the screen. We need to get our brothers out there kicking some knowledge. So we either need to get my brother Rahiem Shabazz out here to the UK, or we need to actually take that trip across the pond. Them ways there. Where are you located right now? Anyway,
I'm currently located in Atlanta, but I'm originally from Harlem.
Okay. See. All right. So I'm putting the call out there. I'm putting the call out there for all our brothers over here in the UK that's out there on the scene right now. I see you. Please hit up our brother. I'm talking to you, Respect. I'm talking to you, man like Shahrazad. I'm talking to you, Akala. I'm talking to you, Shahrazad. I'm talking to those heavy hitters out there. Come on, make that call. Get in touch with our brother, because we need to get our perspective out there as well.
Absolutely. I actually did a screening with a sister out there. Well, she did the screening for me. I wasn't able to make it out there, and then I also work with the man in the mirror, the good brother. Yeah, so we did a actual Skype, and I was able to speak to the audience out there in the UK. So my name is ringing a little bit of bells out there. So I will have to make my presence known very soon.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I love that. And I'm actually just tuning right now as well into the comment section. I see you guys out there who's tuning right now. Peace to the family. I'm seeing a lot of love so far. A lot of love. Let me know as well if the audio is not right. Let me know if the audio is not right in the comment section to our audience members. And those of you who are watching and who may be new to the channel, Talk with the Titans was birthed out of the idea that the intellectual giants, the titans of our community, should have a well-organized platform to present, discuss, and debate critical information affecting our community proposed by you, our audience members, our community. So, in that being said, okay, someone just said bless up. In that being said, if there's any titans that you would love to actually have on the show, hit me up in my inbox. Let me know who you would like on. Or there's any topics that you would like to actually, be discussed or explained, please hit me up as well, and I'll make sure I get those things on for you. I'm seeing the lights coming in. I see the family out there is loving the information so far. And I'm going to ask you again, family, if you're loving it, just give us a big thumbs up. Let us know that you're liking the information, and let's keep it as interactive as possible. So if you've got any questions or comments, just message them there, and I'll definitely read them out or ask them to the good brother. What I really would love to do is actually play some of your video clips. But before I even do all of that, I want to know, I want to know your background. I want to know what actually got you into, filmmaking, doing documentaries. We've had our brother Tariq Nasheed on, a few months back. He gave his breakdown as well, how he came up into the scene. So I'd really love to know, how did you come up into the scene? Because we need to get more, individuals like yourselves out there, showing our narrative, showing it in this pure, authentic manner, and actually reaching the masses as well. So this can inspire any other future filmmakers, documentary makers, writers, journalists, all of that. Please give us your, your background story.
I started out as a journalist, as I told you, and that's how I transitioned into the film. But if you want to get into my personal background, I grew up in the streets of Harlem. I grew up in the streets of the Bronx, and like many youth during that time and era, I was dabbling in the criminal underworld. And as you know, when when you're on the wrong side of the law, there's only two situations that can happen. It's either death or in jail. So I ended up 6 years behind enemy lines. And when I went into jail, I didn't have a formal education. I didn't have a GED, high school diploma. Within 30 days, I was able to acquire my GED. And I wound up getting sentenced and going upstate New York. And while I was upstate, I enrolled in college, and I actually graduated 8 days before I got out. And I graduated in the top 10% of my class. And while I was in college, I realized that, everything that I imagined became possible through education. Education became the great equalizer for myself. Now, I was always a knowledgeable person. I always read. So it wasn't hard for me to, jump right into it. Like I said, I got my GED within 30 days, and usually they wait 6 months before they even give you the test. I took the pre-test, and within 2 weeks, I actually took the test. So when I get out, I'm hearing that I'm a prolific writer. So I started doing journalism. I started writing for The Source, Vibe, XXL, and I interviewed everybody from 50 Cent to Tyler Perry, Magic Johnson, and I was traveling the world, and I had a movie script that I had written, and I was shopping around in Hollywood, and a few people was expressing interest, but the money factor wasn't right. And the type of money that they was offering me, I couldn't get my clothes out of cleaners with that type of money. So I said I would shoot it as a short film, and then build my name up from pretty much from there. So I shot it as a short film. Lo and behold, I started winning awards. I won like 5 awards, and one of the awards was from Atlanta Hip Hop Festival. And part of the award was me being apprentice on Tyler Perry's movie set. So I became an apprentice on Daddy's Little Girl. And from there, I worked on 4 other movies. And that's how I really cut my teeth into the film industry. After that, I started doing music videos, started doing commercials. I did another featured film, did a web series. And I began to start seeing that nobody was really touching on social issues as far as the school to prison pipeline and what was going around. And that was a subject matter that was near and dear to my heart. So I came up with the concept of elementary genocide. And from there, you know, like they say, the rest is history.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Hold on 1 second. I see you. I see a lot of people are showing keen interest into the show right now. A lot of people want to jump on with you and actually. I love that. That's lovely. That's vibes right there. So that's real powerful, because you was literally able to turn your life around from going into, behind enemy lines, and literally, education was the key. Education was the key to, turn your whole life around and actually, bring you into places that most people couldn't even dream of actually, seeing or being, or even the people that you were surrounded by. That's powerful right there. I love that. So what would be the one key you would give to other individuals who to actually help them to turn their life around? What would you say? What's that one thing that was able to make you turn your life around?
Well, to be honest with you, I always was a very knowledgeable person. My background is with the 5% Nation of Gods and Earth. So I always study, I knew who I was from very young age. I know who the open enemy was. So I just made wrong decisions. And that's the main, problem with a lot of us. We make wrong decisions. So it's about making decisions. And even if you make a wrong decision, it's never over with. You can always educate yourself. You can always overcome diversity, as long as you know who you is and what your purpose is in life. And it takes some people longer than others. It took me 6 years, to really figure this thing out. But I had it instilled in me, because like I said, I read a lot. And one of the individuals that, I'm real fond of is Marcus Garvey. And one of the things that he said, and his quote is that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. And I never wanted to be a burden for my people. So that's why I do what I do. I do it for me, and I do it for the culture. We still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Just
Okay.
having some difficulties right here. Okay, let me just make sure, because I see so many messages coming through. I'm trying to read them at the same time. I think I need to hook you up with some of our brothers over here. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure. All right. We're going to go into that a little bit later on. I see a lot of people just getting in touch with me. So, can you talk to us about the elementary genocide, that project? Because I know you got 1, 2, and 3 out. 3 is actually in the making right now. But could you give us some more information about number 1 and 2?
Elementary genocide, the school to prison pipeline, is essentially about how the government and the school system use the reading scores of 3rd and 4th graders to determine how many prisons they're going to build in the next 10 to 15 years. And essentially what they do is they trade these prisons on the stock market. So that's what the first one is about. Because when you look at the 3rd and 4th grade reading level, if you're not reading on grade level, there's a 75% chance that you're going to end up in prison. Elementary genocide 2, the Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration, is essentially about the Board of Education. And what we did was we went back to the landmark ruling of Brown versus Board of Education, and we asked the proverbial question, has it did more harm than good? And as we know, it did more harm, because at that time, 82,000 Black teachers who had our best interests at heart lost their jobs. And what they did was they integrated the students, but they didn't integrate the teachers. So that's the second one. The third one, Elementary Genocide 3, Academic Holocaust, is going to show that the assassination of your mind An assassination of your critical thinking is no different than the killing of Black youth in the street, whether it be Eric Gardner, Philando Castro, Sandra Bland, and the list goes on and on. So we bringing it full circle, and we have a absolutely wonderful lineup of community leaders, activists, stakeholders, and scholars. And we bringing the truth in this one.
Jeez, you know what I need to do? Is actually play some of your documentary to the people so they can get a feel of it. I'm just wondering, which one is the best to play from, the Indiegogo one or the ones from your website?
You could play the one from my website, right? Play Elementary Genocide, the first one.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with our audience members. So just bear with me. Let me get it up real quickly. There you go. So we're up right now. Let me just make sure. So I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen. Keep going down.
Keep going down.
Keep going down. Keep going down.
Johnson?
Yeah, you can play that one. You click on the one with Umar's picture. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I'm just going to bring it up for everybody to see. Okay. I'm not too sure if they can hear it. Give me 1 second. I just realized
I can hear it a little bit.
Yeah, you may not be able to hear it, so I'm just gonna have to change a quick setting around so I can make sure that everybody can hear it. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Stop presenting. Okay, let me just change my audio input, built-in microphone, and then we should be good to go. So I'm gonna share this again. And whilst you lot are here, before I share it, please, you guys, hit the share button. Hit the share button. Let everybody know that we have a powerful show in store for you. We have the powerful brother, Rahiem Shabazz. This is a show not to be missed. If you've got any questions, please, I want those of you out there who are in the creative field, who are musicians, who are artists, who are directors, who are filmmakers, who are producers, who are actors, who are, writers, please, journalists, please, bloggers, please, get in contact, ask some questions, because this brother has worked with, a plethora of people and organizations that you can get some inside information into right now. Okay, so let's go back into it. Let's go.
America is a capitalist society.
Anything that drives a profit.
As long as prisons are big business.
America is down with it.
Black children in the Washington, D.C. area are suspended or expelled 2 to 5 times more often than white children. It's a national trend that needs to be addressed.
And even with education, there's no jobs.
You don't have a choice but to do some dumb shit.
The best days in the United States are behind us.
They undereducate you. After that, they underemploy you. Even under the president that looks like you.
Indicators are telling us that it's headed downhill.
You're a walking, talking uranium for these people. You're still gold with mouth and eyes and ears.
Most states in America look at the reading level of Black boys at the conclusion of elementary school, which is normally 4th or 5th grade, to determine, to predict how many new prison cells they'll need in the next decade. Statistically, if a Black boy cannot read by the time he finishes the 5th grade, there's a 75% chance that he will be a criminal by the age of 25. It is the relationship between miseducation and criminology.
When you look at instances like New York stop and frisk, when you look at instances like Troy Davis, Trayvon Martin case, which has ignited everyone across the world, know that racism is alive and well in America.
When you look at the prisons, it's the majority of us.
Everything that we aspire to be, everything that conspires against us, typically they meet on it.
Black men are being publicly traded on Wall Street the same way you trade sugar, leather, gold, diamonds. Just like in slavery, black men are the raw resource of America.
The goal is to get bodies of whoever just happens to get caught into the system.
I believe that if a group of people have not sat down and formally decided we're going to do this, at some point a group of people realize that these numbers corroborate one another, they coincide, they form a line from A to B, and if they've done nothing to interrupt that or stop that, that still is a conspiracy proven true.
They've done studies where they found that 70 to 80% of people that are incarcerated are at different levels of illiteracy. So there you know that if you're illiterate in 3rd or 4th grade, then it's very likely that you'll be in prison. So you mean to tell me that people that decided on where to build a prison or how to build a prison or when to build a prison didn't look at the research? They had to look at something. So, of course, I mean, if I was trying to make millions of dollars off private prisons, I would be looking at, oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of prisoners this year because nobody can read.
Revolutionary in my family was what they call reading. My grandmother would always remind me, remember, they used to kill slaves, cut your tongue out blind, learn how to read. So that's how important it was.
I don't necessarily know if their hatred of black people is greater than their love for money. I think that if they could make money without destroying black people, they would probably try to do that. But the fact is that prisons have become a very convenient way for the powers that be to get wealthy while letting us pay the bill, so to speak.
If there is no tangible benefit or political discourse to improve economic outcomes of people in our community, then we're going to have to be stuck in the same. And we see that with the incarceration rates, we see that with the poor, lack of education, and we see that with the dismal economic growth.
And so I think that for African Americans to have freedom, to truly be free, we've got to embrace ownership and other forms of educational economic empowerment. Because when you walk away from education and you walk away from economic responsibility, you are walking right back into the hands of slavery, and that's something that we don't want to do.
They take the same dudes that get snatched out of your neighborhoods, the bogus drug charges, nonviolent drug charges, they put them on work camps, and they have to clean the side of the highways and the exits now. Now, this not only happens at a much reduced rate that you would have to pay if you were paying a fair labor, unskilled labor. Not only that, you have to assure them, you have to give them city pension. We wipe all that out by using slave labor, paying these men pennies on the dollar, and then forcing restitution, most of which never makes it back to a victim, but just makes it to these mysterious court calls to keep the system running. So it is indeed slavery.
So prison, we can say, is a new cotton.
Yeah, you are the cotton. Right now, you the cotton brown.
Oh, man.
Okay, are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we
We're
back?
back. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. Great. Excellent. Wow, 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 wow.
Powerful, right?
That was powerful. That was real powerful.
Absolutely.
Listen, give me a real hot second. Let me just see what our people are saying right now.
Can I see the chat?
The only way I can say to see the chat is if you go onto YouTube right now.
Oh no, don't worry about it. I'll see the comments later.
Yeah. Okay, somebody says here, if you are not one of the elite, you are a commodity in the United States, no matter what color you are. That's a fact.
Facts. Absolutely.
Wow. So you know what? Earlier on, you actually mentioned that education is the great equalizer. Can you elaborate on that?
All right. When you look, let's go back in history. When you go back to the 1800s, you had individuals like Carter G. Woodson, who was born the son of a slave, and he worked in the coal mines in South Carolina. And he didn't start school until he was 21 years old. He went on to get his master's degree in 2 years, and then he finished the coursework to get his PhD in 1 year. Now, he was born the son of a slave, so he knew that education was the great equalizer. If you look at, we can go back to 1875, Mary Bethune. She was one of 17 children who actually went to school. So out of 17 children, she's the only one that made it. Her parents knew that somebody has to make it, and that person that make it is going to come back and help everybody else. And how they're going to make it? They're going to get an education. Again, education is the great equalizer. So she went on to excel extremely well in school, and she opened up her own school, and she opened up several black hospitals. And then you go to Benjamin E. Mays. He didn't start school until he was 20 years old, high school. And he worked in the tobacco fields in West Virginia. And he went on to become what they refer to as the great schoolmaster and a top advisor for Martin Luther King. Now, what all three of them had in common is either that their parents were slaves, or that they was former slaves, and that they went on to do big and great things. And that's why, over 200 years later, we still talking about them, because they took the education and they used it to lift their race of people up. You know, we have a lot of educated people, you know, and I like to call some of them educated fools, because if you have an education and it's not pushing your race of people forward, then it's really not an education. You know, we have people that goes to school and they excel extremely well, but they don't do nothing for their community. And pretty much what they do is they get a good job and then they go work for corporate America. And they still a slave working on the plantation. You know, your desk is your 40 acres and your computer is your mule. So whether you got a good job or not, 9 times out of 10, you're on the corporate plantation working for somebody else, and work that you are doing is not helping your race of people. And that's essentially what it's about. When it comes to me, I'm race first.
That's right. That's right. Because I definitely see that amongst our people over here in the UK as well. Instead of setting up your own business or going to work for another, you know, somebody who is of your own community, we actually tend to go and work, you know, offer and actually just giving our energy over to other individuals, other big organizations such as the Jews, the Europeans, and other the Arabs and so forth. Like all these different companies, we tend to go and work there instead of actually doing for self and actually working for ourselves. Number one, setting up a business. Number two, or actually working in a black-owned business itself is very difficult. Very, 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 very difficult. You know, what would be your advice to individuals that have just graduated from college or university, you know, who, you know, needs a paycheck to pay off that school debt or those fees? Like, what would be your advice to them if there's literally no black businesses around? They may not be entrepreneurial. Like, what would you say to them?
Well, we have to, you know, deal with reality. Even if you graduate from school and how you said there might not be no black business around, or they might not be able to find a significant job that's going to pay their bills, there's certain things that you still can do. Whether you work for corporate America or not, you know, you got to ask yourself, what's the end game? How long am I going to be working here? You got to get yourself a side hustle so that when things do pick up in your business, that you can make that transition easy. You know, one of the things Elijah Muhammad said, he said that our open enemy will never teach us the science of mating, the science of business, and the science of warfare. Those are three integral parts of life that we need to understand. And then once you understand it, you'll be able to move yourself and your race forward. Because if you know the science of mating, you're going to be able to get a wife that's conducive to your growth and development. And if you know the science of business, you're going to be able to sustain yourself and don't have to depend on your open enemy for your food, your clothing, and your shelter. And if you know the science of warfare, you're going to be able to protect your family, man, woman, and child. Peace, brother. You still here?
Yep, I'm still here. I'm still
Okay.
here. I'm just muting the mic so there's no feedback, but it's still coming through. All right. Hold on real quickly. Let me just read. More Science TV. That's brother Lord Abba. He says, Islam to you more.
Islam.
And a good brother Siraj as well is shouting you out. Great show. I'm glad to bring both of you together to make history. So,
yeah. Peace to that brother, man. Every time he come to the States, you know, me and him hang out. He come all the way from the UK. Good brother.
And then someone here, Eyes Wide Open 360 says, knowledge is power when it's applied. Many get the knowledge and sit on it, unfortunately.
Or sometimes they don't just sit on it, they use it to debate. You'll never see me in a debate. Unless it's with the open enemy, you know. I ain't trying to debate my brothers, man. But sometimes, you know, some of these brothers do need an intellectual whipping, but, you know.
I hear that. You know, and even just to touch back on that point earlier on in terms of doing for self and working with our own kind, you know, and I have to admit, coming out from university, I was in a quandary myself. I was in a quandary because on one hand, I've got all this knowledge. I got all this knowledge of self and kind. And then on the other hand, I have a massive, big paying job over here with a great big financial giant such as Goldman Sachs, started on some crazy figures. And I was like, whoo-wee, what do I do? What do I do? Do I get paid? or do I truly follow my dreams? And, you know, in that being said, everybody thought I was crazy, but I had to say no to the Goldman Sachs job, and I worked on my own thing. And, you know, I have to be thankful that even from university times, I had my own thing working and I was being paid whilst I was going to university.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
So sometimes you have to either set up your own little side hustle or your business or whatever it is, you know, if nobody else ain't looking to offer you a job. I was lucky. I got picked to get a job, but unfortunately I turned that down because I knew too much. And, you know, there's a lot of other individuals that I know I've grown up with, had a lot of integrity, that they put down their big paying jobs, and the rest of their families, it's usually the families that, you know, get on these individuals that are doing good, that are, you know, made it through college, made it through university, got these high grades, being offered, you know, these big paying jobs to further their career and stuff. And it's usually the family. That family pressure could actually sway you into another direction.
You know what I would say to that? I really didn't face that type of pushback, but one thing that I did notice is that your families and friends are not going to support you until strangers start celebrating you. So when the documentary did what it did and it took off and it went from 0 to 100 real quick, everybody was happy. But before that, it was like, you really gonna do that? You gonna put all your money into that? You know, because we self-fund everything over here. We're not asking the enemy for a dime. So I do see where individuals can get pushback from family and things like that. But what you have to do is you have to find what you do. You have to find a passion. What's your passion in life? And work on it as a side hustle. And eventually, you know, you put enough dedication and passion into it, you will start to reap monetary gains. You know, I haven't worked for nobody in the last 12 years. I've been self-employed in the last 12 years, and I'm not rich, but I'm not doing bad by far. You know, so I hope that's an inspiration for individuals but it took some time, and it is definitely not easy, you know. But you just got to be consistent with it. That's, you know, one thing in life that you do, be consistent in how you carry yourself and how you move. And you know, with me, I got certain morals, values, and principles that will not allow me to be in certain settings, you know. So as of this point, I can't go back to corporate America, because they'll see videos such as this and other ones online, and they'll look at me like, yo, that's the slave that got away. You know, I'm the runaway slave. I didn't stay on the plantation, so nah, they don't want me there.
So
yeah,
true.
I'm not built for that corporate America.
For real, you know, so we can't even go back. Even if we tried, we couldn't even go back. That's beautiful.
If I go back, I'm going back as Nat Turner.
Jeez. Hi.
Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosner.
Damn. All right. You know, I got to ask you this as well. You know, there is so much racial disparity within inside of the prison system itself. You know, what would be the solution itself in you know, in getting that, you know, the equalizer, so to speak? How do we you know, solve that problem?
Well, within the prison system, if an individual's in prison, I say, you know, to definitely educate yourself. You know, Malcolm X, he was self-taught and he educated himself in prison. And, you know, depending on where you at in New York State, you know, they just allowed the college program back into the prison, because when Governor Pataki was there, they took it out. So you have college programs. New York State City College is now going to be free. So get that education. And if you're not in a position to go to school for whatever reason, financial reasons, then you need to go on YouTube. You know, you need to Google certain information. YouTube University is the best college you can go to, because there's a lot of pertinent information out there. Now, you can't believe everything that you hear on the internet, but you can self-educate yourself. And you don't have to ask nobody permission for it.
True. Very true. My bad. My bad.
You all right over there, brother?
Just adding up. Let me just read out some more comments real quickly. Okay, so we've got some shout-outs going on. Peace and love and black power. Big up Titans TV. Big up brother Shabazz. Peace, fam. This is from Kaba Nipti Ankt. Let me drink some water. Let me just read out some more. That's why we need to build a bridge from the US to the UK. That's from our brother Terry Riggs. And corporate America will eat you up if you are not a vicious wolf. I like that. I like that. Real quickly, are we back?
Yeah, we back. I'm here.
We're back. That's good. Now, let me think here. What is the best thing to do right now? I know what I want to do. Before anything else happens and goes wrong, I need to make sure everybody knows where to go to actually purchase your DVDs and actually see what you're up to as well. So could you let us know, like, where should we go to actually purchase some of your DVDs?
You can go online at www.elementarygenocide.com, and you can purchase 1, you can purchase 2, and we also have a combination pack where you purchase both DVDs and you don't have to pay for shipping and handling. We take care of that. We're trying to make it financially suitable to everybody. Anybody that's interested in helping us achieve our goal to get Elementary Genocide 3 Academic Holocaust out, you can go to Indiegogo and actually just put the word Elementary Genocide 3 in the search box and it will come up. And I employ everybody to please help us out in reaching our goal. We don't accept money from third parties. We don't accept money from corporations or none of that. We're doing it organically because we are not going to let them change the narrative of our message. In order to do that, we have to be self-sufficient. And don't think they ain't come at me, you know, wanting to invest and wanting to collaborate on certain projects, because, you know, everybody's in the business of making money and they see a viable product, you know. So you do have them sharks out there that do have the money to fund projects such as this self, but in order to sustain yourself, you got to have the morals and principles. And that's what I have. I just don't have the capital to keep it going. So with this one, I have to ask you, family, please support. Like I said, elementarygenocide.com. The information is all on there.
Okay. And also, if you aren't able to actually purchase the DVDs themselves, it's only $20 per DVD. And obviously with the combo pack, you get the Genocide, Elementary Genocide, both 1 and 2 for $35. But if you're strapped for some cash and you still want to see these DVDs, please, you can actually stream this on your mobile devices, such as your phone, your iPad, your computer, or even onto your TV screen itself. And they're literally going for real nice prices. So stream Elementary Genocide, only $5.99. To stream Elementary Genocide number 2, it's only $7.99. And I'm pretty sure our brother may actually, you know, if you would like to actually, ooh, 1 second, let me come back. If you would actually like to do any screenings as well of Elementary Genocide in schools, in colleges, in youth clubs, or anywhere else, in your churches, in your mosques, or anywhere else, please get in touch with our brother Rahiem Shabazz, and I'm pretty sure he will have something there set up for you where you can actually do this. Is there anything like that, my brother?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get hit up all the time, individuals wanting to screen the documentary, and this is my policy. If you're going to screen it and it's open and free to the public, by all means do it. You know, I don't have a problem with that. This is more than a documentary. It's a call to action, and I want everybody to see it. I want it to be accessible to all my people. So if you want to do a screening, anything like that, by all means do it. You know, I get pictures from all the time from around the country. People are doing screenings of the documentary, and I love it.
Okay. All right. And also, please, let me just actually share my screen again, just in case you wasn't aware or didn't see it. If you would like to actually donate, and I'm actually imploring you to actually please donate. This is definitely necessary. We've got Elementary Genocide number 3, the academic Holocaust. You know what? Can I play a clip from here?
Yeah, you want to play a clip from part 2, or you want to play a clip from part 3?
I want to do part 2 first, and
all right, good. Then you can do part 3. You can end it with part 3.
All right, give me a hot second, everybody, because I would need to actually just change my mic settings around. So just give me a little while, and it's cool.
The Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration.
First of all, we have to define the word education. In the 1968 speech done by H. Rep. Brown called The Politics of Education, he said that Black people in America are not educated, but they are trained.
The worst thing that it did was to destroy our own independent Black institutions.
But it also did more harm than good.
You know that integration did not help the Black community, but segregation certainly doesn't help the Black community, because we deserve to have freedom. The question is, are you intelligent and conscientious enough to know what to do with your freedom?
So even though it brought Black children into white schools, it did not bring a representative amount of Black teachers into the white public schools.
If you don't change the mindset of the teachers, if you don't change the mindset of the system, then Brown versus Board of Education does more harm.
I would argue that there's no difference between the Black codes of Reconstruction and the educational and legal policy of the United States public schools, as well as the criminal and justice system.
I believe that the Brown versus Board of Education, as well as the civil rights movement's push for racial equality, is essential. It's not as if it stopped us from our progress. What stopped us from our progress was our will to continue to fight. Some people got comfortable, and as a result of that comfort, they have not fought.
We sometimes are fooled into mistaking education from indoctrination, not realizing that sometimes when I quote unquote educate you, I'm not really educating you as much as I am assimilating.
The schools fail on purpose because they have to guarantee that Black folk remain the economic and political and social underclass of America. And in order to do that, you have to make sure Black children are not given a winning chance in America's public schools.
School to prison pipeline is real. What it is it's a set of circumstances that are consistent across communities where from the time a child enters a school who's of color, his behavior is criminalized. So it's made to believe that when he's done something, he needs to be suspended or expelled for it. Whereas children who are white or Asian could do those very same things and are given alternative punishments.
We do live in a society and in a system that believes that those Black and brown kids, particularly poor Black and brown kids, just aren't as worthy as those pretty little white kids out in the suburbs. That's the underlying philosophy that leads to this economic disparity, which I don't know if that's ever going to change because the government does not like you. It does not feel any remorse for what it's done to Black men and women over the last 400 years. They won't even apologize for slavery. Think about that. They won't even apologize for slavery.
Wow. That was deep.
Real deep, real deep.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite some questions and comments from my brothers and sisters in the chat section. I know it's going to take a little while for it to actually come through. Someone says, I need the DVDs to pass it down to my nephews and nieces. The mindset of the teachers are biased or based in those white women that come out of Vassar College. Yes, it's only. That's right.
Is my sound sounding funny?
It's okay with me over here.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, that's you're absolutely right. You have these organizations. What is it? Teach for America. Teach for America. That I think it's essentially like 6 weeks of training, if it's that. And they want to come in. It's almost like being a missionary, where you have a college education, you go through this training, and you're going to come in and save these ratchet urban youth, where individuals don't understand that there's a mindset to education. You know, there's intent and there's content. You know, intent is what your intentions are. You know, your intentions for wanting to help, wanting to teach, wanting to educate someone. Your content is what are you teaching? And that's why it's important that children are homeschooled or they're either educated in an Afrocentric school, because you're going to know what the intentions are. You're going to know what the content of what's being taught is being taught. So we have to be mindful of that. And like Malcolm X said, we're the only race of people that allow our open enemy to educate us.
Truth. Now, you know what? We've got actually a question here from The Future is Our Children. And it says here, Raheem, what do we do about the food deserts in the hood and the nutrition that the public schools are feeding our kids in the US?
Yeah, that's a big problem. Dealing with the food deserts and things like that, and the same food that is being served in the school is the same food that they serve in prison. Actually, you know, when you see Cisco, there's a company called Cisco, and Amorex or something like that. I might be pronouncing the last one wrong. You can go online and Google this. These are the same companies that have contracts with the prison system and the public school system. It's not a nutritionally balanced diet. I would send my kids to school with lunch money if you're in a position to do that, or either make their lunch at home. Or what you can do is, you can do like we always do. You know what I mean? You can resist and, you know, protest. What a lot of parents need to do is you need to join the school boards. And once you get on the school boards, you're able to exert your power and your influence, because the school board is the actual ones that pick who the superintendent is. And the superintendent is the one that hires the principals in that locale, in that district. And that's how you take back your community, neighborhood at a time. Because you don't want to have a situation that you had in Ferguson, which was over 79% black, and they only had one person of color. I don't even like to use that terminology, but one black person on their school board, you know. And just recently, you know, they had elected a mayor. After they had a black mayor, they just elected another or white mayor, because the turnout in Ferguson was so low. And that in itself, people, we got to get better with that. If we say we want change, and all it took was for individuals to go and vote, to put someone in power that looks like you, that shares your interests, and has a cultural responsibility to their people, and we didn't do that, we can't keep dropping the ball on the next generation.
Facts. All right. Somebody just literally sent us, it's Cisco and Amarak. So
I was right. Cisco and Amarax. Okay.
Right. So they've got here Cisco spelled as SYCO.
Yeah, SYCO. And you know what? They make the Kool-Aid, right? That Kool-Aid, if it gets on your pants like a white shirt, it would never come out. That's the same one they have in the penitentiary. It comes in a silver package. I know about it. Yep.
And then Amarak is spelled AMARAK. Okay. That's what my brother has got up here. So please do your research. If it's not spelled like that, let me know as well, and let our audience know so they can actually do the research themselves. Someone says here, sugar and oil in food kill. Our bodies doesn't need that much oil. The teachers in our homes don't really want to be there. Some don't, because they really don't believe in the curriculum or the content. So that's another point as well. You know, should our our educated individuals, should we now start going into the teaching roles and going into the school systems, or does the school system need a complete rehaul where the content itself, the curriculum that's being taught, does it need to be configured in a way that is more appealing or acceptable or enticing to our Black boys and girls?
That's a good question. I think that the curriculum needs to be overhauled. It needs to be changed. There needs to be people that looks like the students, that represents the makeup of the students teaching. And when I say changing the curriculum, and you have to change the style of teaching. First of all, kids or children do not learn from people they don't like. And children has an innate ability to look and feel if a person is genuine. So when you see children rebelling, it's because they don't mesh well with that teacher. That teacher is not teaching them right. They understand that that teacher is probably there just for the paycheck, and that's it. You know, Kaba Kenmi, he's in the documentary, and he develops school curriculum. And one of the things that he was telling me, and it's very profound, he was talking about if a child that is not doing good in math, but he is an outstanding basketball player, then you use the basketball to teach him math, because we know that rate times time, rate times distance times time, and when you shoot the ball, the velocity of the shot going into the basket, you have to measure that. And then if you're shooting from an angle, that's geometry. So we have to teach from that perspective. A lot of our children are into music. And when you deal with music, you have stanzas. You know, whether you want to be a rapper, someone tell you spit 16 bars, you're going to have to know how to count bars. You know, we are rhythmatic people. So we have to start teaching from that aspect. And there are individuals that are teaching from that aspect. And those are some of our great grandmaster teachers. They know and understand how to teach our children in the manner that they need to be taught in.
Definitely. Definitely. And let me just get into this again. I love making sure that our comment sections are actually read out. All right, that's cool. I think everybody's up to point with that. Now, let me actually get this shared real quickly. Bear with me again, people. Okay, sharing my screen. So for those of you who are new to Talk with the Titans, or those of you who are veterans to the Talk with the Titans, please check out the rest of the channels. We do a lot of conscious lectures, debates, discussions, and interviews. We try to have a show on every single Wednesday as well, Talk with the Titans shows. But of course, we do other forms of shows, such as Speaker's Corner, where we have a lot of debates going on over here in the UK, where we have Christians, Muslims, Kemetic, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, a whole magnitude of individuals, pantheists, atheists, agnostics, everybody come together and we do a lot of debating. This takes place in Speaker's Corner. This is in Hyde Park, just opposite Marble Arch train station, tube station. We do these debates there every single Sunday. So if you're available to come down, please, please, please definitely come down on the Sundays and actually see us in action. You know, we've had some real great shows going on Talk with Titans. We did a show on what is our ancestral worship. We did a show on Jesus, the Son of God, from a pharaonic perspective, where we compared the Jesus story and the Pharaoh and how the similarities are. We also had our brother Sedi in London last week or 2 weeks ago. We had him over here in London last week or a couple of weeks ago. Let me just double check. I'm actually just here. Yeah, we had him here last week, basically. We've also had, you know, Young Pharaoh. We've had some stuff on the Kemetic mystery system in the Bible and the Quran. Obviously, the London attack that took place. We've had Brother Red Pill on here as well. Minister Enki, Netchaneb as well, deciphering the hieroglyphs. My brother Siraj doing The Man in the Mirror. Stephen Graham, another extraordinary filmmaker and director, who's done, you know, extraordinary work in terms of the Hebrew Israelites over in America, over here in the UK, the Caribbeans, and their place in Palestine and Israel, etc. We've also had Brother Zion Lex on as well. So please check out our amazing shows. We've also got, you know, who do we have here? We've got Brother Polite. He's got his own little section here. And of course, we have our popular videos that are reaching in the region of 350,000, 250,000, 200,000 views. So please check out some of our videos. You could check out some more of me if you would like to see some of my stuff. I do a nice breakdown on the 42 laws of Ma'at. Dedicated a video to my Muslim brothers on the color of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Do a video dedicated to my Hebrews, Moses found in Egypt, and you know, other stuff to do with Kemet, etc., etc. So please check that out. We also have a great African section over here where we have Ranoko Rashidi. So if you love the show so far, please check out the remaining stuff that we do actually do, because we have a lot of amazing content over here. I think we could even create a mini documentary from such great conversations that we've had over here on Talk with the Titans.
Absolutely. I need to bring my camera to Hyde Park.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my first stop. When I touch down in the UK, I need to go to Hyde Park.
Hey, listen.
Mic them up. Let's get it. Round one. Ding, 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 ding. I watched a lot of those videos, brother. And you know, we got some highly intellectual brothers, you know, but what we have to do is we have to start building institutions. We have to take that knowledge and make it practical. You know, there's a lot of individuals in the conscious community, but you know, it seems like they are highly intellectual and they can debate with the best of them, but we're still wearing poverty as a badge of honor. You know, if we understand the alchemy of making bread, you need dough to make bread. So we have to build institutions that are self-sustainable, that can run, and that we can make money to operate, because every other community has it. You know, one of the things I like to tell individuals is that we have over 100,000 organizations. The Jews only have 6 organizations. We the most unorganized individuals. We have too many organizations. The Jews have 6 organizations and they're the most organized. And, you know, and that's not to compare us to them. You know, you have to look at sometimes what other people are doing and see what you're doing wrong. And then you take the good part from that. So we, you know, there's organizations out there. There's not room for too many more organizations. You know, there's a lot of organizations, but how many of them are sustaining us and pushing us forward as a race of people? Remember, it's always race first, especially with me.
Definitely. Now, you know what? I see someone in great comments inside the chat section. My sister, Karba Nepti Uncle, is really going in. So I would really love to share my screen right now. Hopefully everybody can actually see it. Let me just see if I can just, there we go. Should be nice and big enough for everybody to see. She has here, the current set curriculum's dynamics were set by those who were educated at Zaza. This school was racist. See articles. So if you're available to see these articles, please click them. Otherwise, just write them down if you're watching via the archived show on YouTube. Zaza College security over policing the politics of people of color and getting paid to do it. There's another article there. Appreciating the show, brother Kalam. Big up Titans TV. Big up to you, my sis. The award-winning director Rahiem Shabazz. Much love to this brother. Back-to-back essays by 2 Vassar professors. One of them, a former dean, renew a debate about treatment of minority faculty members. We'll post this one. Post after this one. And there is the link. The insidehired.com news continued. I love the videos at Hyde Park really too. Okay. Yeah, there's loads of comments going on. There's loads of comments going on. I just definitely wanted to share my screen on that. Make sure our audience are actually being featured on the show. As you already know, I like to make the show as interactive as possible. It's not just me doing the show, it's all of us doing the show.
Absolutely.
And what I would really like for you guys to do is, if you can, please, there is literally a super chat button. Let me actually maximize my screen again. Let me see if I can get it up there, because this will be a great help. 1 second. Can I do it? There we go. Here we go. So yeah, there is literally a super chat button right here, and it allows you to actually donate to the channel. So if you could just click onto it and click the amount that you would like to donate to the channel, that would be extraordinary, because it will help us a great deal. Unfortunately, YouTube is tightening up. The little amount of money that was actually coming through via YouTube to actually cover the cost of doing the shows, of doing videos, doing the editing, and all these other things here, you know, it has really shriveled up, where, you know, because of the content of most of these shows that we're doing, they've been demonetized. So a lot of controversial content. YouTube, unfortunately, because of the advertisers, don't want it to be shown. Anything to do with race, they don't want it to be shown. Anything to do with, you know, natural disasters or breaking news such as terrorist attacks, anything to do with even literally Islam, a lot of Islam stuff, a lot of Jewish stuff as well. If you're speaking out of these, different religions and cultures right now, you're actually being demonetized. So a lot of our content, as you already know, is thought-provoking and therefore is very provocative and very controversial. So a lot of our videos have been demonetized. So any way possible that you can help, whether given through Super Chat, PayPal, or whatever it can do, it will be a great help in actually continuing these shows. Of course, I'm going to do these shows and these videos regardless, but it'd be a great help if you guys as well could help out, because right about now is not looking too nice. It's not looking too nice at all. Let me just quickly see what's going on. Okay, so now, my brother, I wanted to know actually, what will be the future of the next generation if these particular problems aren't actually corrected right now? We've already talked about how, the grading systems of literacy literally projects to other companies to know in the next 10 years how many prisons to make, what areas to make them in. So I want to know, if we don't fix up our act, if we don't solve this problem right now, what will the future hold for us?
Wow. What we have to do is we have to break the generational curse. Like, I don't even, like, failure is not an option for us as a people. So I don't even think about the ramifications if this problem is not solved, because we're gonna solve it. But I can tell you that what's happening now, that it ain't solved, as far as the future, I can't project that. But what's happening now is essentially that Black boys are 3 times as likely to be suspended from school than their white counterparts. And, we heavily talk about boys, but what a lot of people don't talk about, and I am talking about it more so than anything in the second documentary, is the Black females. They are 6 times more likely to be suspended from school than their white counterparts for the same offense, and these offenses is being defiant, where you may roll your eyes, or the teacher tell you sit down, you took a little longer than what she expected, so what happens is they wind up being adjudicated a juvenile delinquent. They go to these family courts, and eventually they end up in the prison system. And when that happens, the ramification of that is now you may have a record. You're not going to be able to get a good job. Certain states you're not going to be able to vote. And basically you become a part of a second-class citizen. Well, you're not even going to be a second class, because if you're Black, you're less than second class. And if you have a felony, it's going to be even worse for you. And in the time that we're living in, if you want to be truthful and speak truth to power, a white individual that has a felony record has a better chance of getting a job than a Black person that has a bachelor's degree. So we living in some trying times, people, and that's why, it's imperative that you have some type of skill in addition to your corporate job if you have to work in corporate America. So if one day that job ain't there for you, you're able to sustain yourself and your livelihood and still be able to take care of your family.
All right. You know what? I see a lot of people are asking for the link to be joined in right now. You know what I'm going to do? For those of you who are asking, I can't send it to you all individually. So what I'm going to do right now is post it with inside of the group. Sorry, with inside of the chat section. I'll just post it with inside of the chat section. And in saying that, what I would love to actually do at the same time is big up my queen right now. I want to big up my queen. Can everybody see what's going on here? Can everybody see my screen? Can you see my screen, my brother?
Yeah, I can see it a little bit, but I can't read it. It's real small. What I have to do, click on it and enlarge it?
No, that's okay. You don't need to do anything at all. Maybe
yeah, I don't want to mess nothing up.
All right, so I was going to give a big shout out to my sister who's donated. That's Kaba Nebti Ankh. She's donated to us. She says, Black Power, donate, family, donate. So I have to give my big thanks out to this sister, this queen right here, that actually puts her money where her mouth is. And I thank you, because this is actually going to help us to continue producing the great content that we are actually producing right now. You know, a lot of people don't actually know how much work actually goes into actually doing shows like these, you know, in terms of actually doing the design work, you know, and doing the calls, doing the communications, you know, setting up so that this show is marketable in terms of the advertising via, you know, social media, and doing metadata here on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. It's a lot of hard work that actually goes into actually produce one show. And I would love to actually produce more shows, but unfortunately, I have my own business outside of this that I have to actually do, and you know, that's kind of keeping me away. But if this was paying me money full time, trust me, pay me enough money to have a family and so forth, I will be doing this full time and doing this all for you guys. You know, I have to sacrifice a lot of my time. Like right now, it's what's the time? It's 12:30 right now. I'm sure I'm not going to go to bed till about 2 something in the morning. And I have to be up early in the morning. So any little that you can do to help us out, it will be grandly appreciated. And again, Brother Siraj says our people are still suffering from trauma. So another approach is to provide African-centered therapy support groups. I love that. So again, if you would like to join us right now, please, the link is right here. I've posted it out. Join us in the link. I know a lot of you have been asking to get on. I can't actually personally give everybody the link. That's hit me up via WhatsApp, hit me up via Facebook, Google Plus, and so forth. I can't actually just do that right now. I'm trying. You know, the ways there you can see me. You know, sometimes I'm half talking. I'm not talking because I'm trying to communicate with everybody. So I don't even want to disrupt my mind right now. I just put it right there. If you want to join in, please join in. Now, what I actually like to do is share my screen for, I think will be the final time, for the final time. This is going to be the final time. I'm sharing my screen right now. And this again is for the documentary, Elementary Genocide. This is number 3, the academic Holocaust. So before I actually hit the play button, please, can you give a quick overview of this and you know, the reasons why our family members should actually donate to actually see this a video or this movie come out?
It's very critical that we know and understand that although the prison, the pipeline, I said it begins in the 3rd and 4th grade, it actually begins the first day a child steps in a kindergarten class. Because if you come from a poor community, you're read to 25 hours before you actually enter kindergarten class. And those that come from rich and medium income communities are read to 1,700 hours before they entered kindergarten class. So that's almost equivalent to 1 hour a day. So you're already at a disadvantage. We have to start teaching our children, and we have to understand that it's up to us. We're the holders and keepers of ourself and responsibility. And this documentary is a call to action, and it's showing the correlation between being miseducated and the ramifications that it leads to, which is a lot of times dead bodies in the streets or either being in prison and in jail. And with that, check out Elementary Genocide 3, Academic Holocaust. And there's no doubt in my mind that this documentary is going to do essentially well, such as 1 and 2.
Yeah.
What screen you on, brother? That look like a different screen there.
No, you know what? You was talking, and you just brought me up to something. Hold on 1 second. Let me stop sharing my screen. You know, talking about how many hours.
Hours. Oh, okay, yeah. For poor individuals from the minority community, it's like 25 hours. And for those from a more affluent community, they said it's 1,700 hours of reading that a child does before they go into the kindergarten class. And, you know, what they're saying now is that our kids barely know 250 words before they start school. And that, you know, and that in itself is not good. You know, my nieces and nephews, they can have a full-blown conversation with me. I'd be amazed, like, man, these kids are smart. You know, but because they around a nurturing environment, you know, you have to be careful who you send your kids to teach them, especially at that young age and that informative years. And in documentary 2, I'm gonna give y'all a little spoiler. I went and interviewed a judge, and one of the things this judge does is he don't send these kids to prison no more, because he wind up understanding what was actually going on. And this is a white judge, by the way, and he works in a predominantly black community. And one of the things when I sat down and he told me, he was telling me about this new medical study that neurologists found out, right? And what they found out is that the front lobe of the brain is not fully developed until you're in your late 20s. So here it is, you have young children that's making childish mistakes, lack of judgment, bad decisions, and you criminalizing them as if they're adult. And that's why, you know, I was on Twitter the other day and I posted a post up and I said they will treat you like children, but they will punish you like adult. And that's what's being happened. You know, when you send your child to a public school system, he's going to have 2 suspensions. You know, he's going to be, the critical thinking of his mind is going to be suspended. And he's going to be taught that George Washington never told a lie and that Christopher Columbus discovered America. So that's the first suspension of your critical thinking. Then he's going to be suspended from the school by administration that doesn't care nothing about him. So we have to be proactive in our children's education. And there's no law saying that you have to send your child to school. You can homeschool. And in certain states, there's an incentive for you to homeschool. You actually get, I think it's a tax credit you get. You have to look at your respective states. But there's alternatives, you know, so it's almost to the point, like, when certain things happen, you know, and you have this information, then you like a co-conspirator in your own demise, because the information is here. And, you know, a lot of people are already asking me, brother, when you coming out with Elementary Genocide 4? There will not be a 4. Because after 1, 2, and 3, if you ain't already got it, then you probably not going to get it, you know. And I'm not into the business of just making documentaries. Actually, this cost me a lot of money. You know, you take these documentaries and you use it as a call to action. There's other social issues that I want to tackle and I want to deal with. But I will always be on the front line for the education of our youth. I'm going to always fight for that.
Definitely, definitely. And I want to actually just propose to our audience members, our mothers, our fathers out there, or even, you know, if you have family members, you know, nephews, nieces, cousins who are of young ages, I'm actually going to put you onto something right now that is actually going to benefit themselves. Because, you know, my son, he's 4 years old now. You know, he's reading at the level of like a 6 or 7 year old or something.
That's good.
Roughly around those ages there. He's not even, you know, I don't even want to say he's not allowed. The teacher at his school says to me that they have to actually keep him quiet from reading out the words when they're writing up the words, because they're doing phonics to actually pronounce the words. So if it's cat, it's going to be cat at, or whatever the case is, or mobile is mobile, whatever the case is as well. But for him, he's seen the words and he can just read it straight off, where the rest of them, they can't. They have to use the phonics and so forth.
That's that multi-black genius that Dr. Amos Wilson was telling us about.
Yeah. So you know what? I put him on this. Let me share my screen. This is what I put him on at a young age. Before the age of 1 year old, he was able to actually read. And it's actually called Your Baby Can Read. I know it's got it up here as yourbabycanlearn.com, but it was Your Baby Can Read. And this was very, very, very powerful. If you can buy the set, I do implore you to actually buy the set. It's very, very good. It teaches them how to read at a very young age, showing them the words on screen with the actions and things like that. And, you know, it's surprising how much these children can actually pick up, because he was reading at a very, very, very young age. I'm saying 1 year old, he was reading. He was literally reading from 1 year old. Right now, I'm all scared. I got things up on the laptop. I have to just make sure I just turn the screen on the laptop because he's there. He's quick. He's like, Daddy, what is the? I'm like, wow. Wow. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your mom. Make sure you don't tell your mom that one. But yeah, so yeah, if you can, please, I'm gonna actually tell you that is one of the star buys to actually get for any child. Put them on it from the age of 6 months onwards, and I'm telling you, you're going to see amazing results. If you put that on, I think it's like a few minutes a day. Could be like 45 minutes a day, split up throughout the day. You're going to see some powerful results. Okay, real quickly, let me actually get onto this documentary, and this will be the last time, as I said previously, where I'll be sharing my screen. Let's get into it. Let's get onto it. Entire screen. Okay. Actually, 1 second. Let me make sure I change my mic around. Okay.
Documentary series, Elementary Genocide 1 and 2 becomes the third and last installment. Elementary Genocide 3, academic outcomes. From kindergarten, everything is designed in the curriculum to murder the psychic.
Why is it going that fast?
To murder your creative possibility.
Oh, there you go.
Because that is the way the curriculum is designed to keep Africans from developing Africa, to recreate themselves in their communities, in their families, in their institutions by their own hand.
Let us remember that the pistol gripper today was that slave gripper yesterday. Let us remember that handcuffs of today were the ropes and the shackles of yesterday. Yet that those slave masters of yesterday have become the judges and the prosecutors and the police departments of today.
There are just some things that are not comfortable for white people. They're not comfortable for them to talk about the possibility that Africans were here before the Europeans.
Contributions of African people, not just in America, but African people worldwide, is not incorporated into the curriculum.
One of the ways that you keep people oppressed is to not show them their true history. Because if I can make you feel inferior, I can control anything.
Black people have bought into white supremacy and they don't know it. It's like instead of fighting the picture of white supremacy or the picture that white supremacy painted of black people, we've accepted it.
The oppressor knows that if they put our contributions into the curriculum, if they put our children into the curriculum, put them into the picture, put them into the frame,
then we'll tear this thing out the brain. So we as a community have to take hold of the educational process of our children, and we have to take our children down that road of ma'at, truth and justice and righteousness, in order to educate them in a way that they will become productive citizens, not only of the country, but of the world.
Well, African liberation has a lot of dimensions. You know, we're talking about African peoples all over the world, most of whom are not free to self-determine their lives and their future. Freeing the lands of Africa, freeing the nation states of Africa, so that they can self-determine and develop their own industry and their own culture and their own way of life, with an economic system that can support them by utilizing the wealth in the ground that is theirs.
Most of the education that we're getting now, either on elementary level, junior high, high school, all of the educational systems that we don't own, all of those denigrate all of the accomplishments of African.
Okay.
Like that?
I'm loving that. I'm loving that one right there.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate it.
Jeez, I need to ask you some questions how you do certain things.
I think my voice is feeding back. A lot of feedback.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah. So I had to change the mic route. Wow. That looks amazing. That looks
Yeah. And one of the things, you know, I tried to raise the production value of this one so that it can really be recognized for what it is, you know, which is an impactful documentary. You know, the first one, you know, I was learning the process and different things like that. The second one, we was able to come back, you know, within a year later. This one, 18 months later. And, you know, as you can see, the production value on this is raised to the highest level. And it requires money, you know, the motion graphics, the coloration, the sound. So, you know, it's not easy, you know, and especially when you self-funding it out your pocket. And I'm just grateful for the people that has been continuously supporting me, the people that is just viewing this and gonna support me. You know, everybody's support, it counts, because I can't do this by myself. You know, this is a people's funded project.
That's right. I'm definitely going to leave the links down below in the description box. Okay, so when you check, you should be seeing in the description box down below the link that will take you directly to the website itself, where you can view the amazing other products you have up there, the different DVD documentaries that you have up there. And also I'm going to include the Indiegogo website for the Elementary Genocide #3, where you can actually pre-donate or donate before the actual DVD is released as well. I'm going to make sure they're in the description box, so make sure you check the description box down below once the show is finished, or right now if you're watching it on the archive. Also, please give us a big thumbs up and let us know that you're loving the information that we've been delivering to you so far. If you would like to talk with our brother some more, my brother, could you hit us up with some of your social media sites that they can get in tune with you on?
Yeah, anybody that's interested in contacting me, I'm active on every social media platform, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. Sometimes I might a little dabble in the Snapchat, but that's not really my thing. But all my social media is at Rahiem Shabazz across every social media platform. Anybody that's interested in directly responding to me via email, it's rahiem.shabazz@gmail.com, and just hit me up. You know, I respond, you know, quickly.
Love that. And my brother, is there any last closing words you would love to give to our audience?
Oh, absolutely. I just want to let everybody know that I appreciate the support and keep the fight. Victory is certain. And remember that we're the holders and keepers of ourself and responsibility, and we have to respond to our ability. We have been doing this a long time, and that we're going to have to continue to fight the good fight. And another thing that we have to be mindful of is that our babies is out there, and we're the only ones that are going to fight for them, and we have to continue to fight for them, because the streets will raise them and they will return them to you to bury them. So be mindful. The streets will raise your kids. They will kidnap them and raise them and return them back to you to baby them. And when you look at what's going on in society today, you'll see the ramifications of that. You know, when you put your kids in a public school system, the school system designate them as a bad child. The police calls them a person of interest, and then they viewed on Fox News and these different media outlets as a gangster of society. So we have to change the narrative of that. We have to show the greatest and the brightest minds amongst our people and make sure that we control the narrative. And that's what documentaries such as this, such as Hidden Colors, and so many other documentaries that are now coming out. You know, we have to reach the people where they at. If they're not reading books, you know, a lot of people is on social media. So you can instantly reach people, whether they're on their tablet, their cell phone, or in front of a computer. And I think that with the advent of social media, documentary is the medium to do that. So let's make it happen, people, man. Peace and Black Power, and I love each and every one of you.
Peace and Black Power. This has been Kalam watching Talk with the Times. I'm signing out. Peace.
Peace, brother.